Okay, so Squid Game Season 2 is finally here, and yes, I've already watched it. I know. It's the season everyone's been waiting for, especially after Season 1 blew up globally. When Squid Game first hit screens, it took the world by storm, becoming a global sensation that redefined K-dramas for many. So, with such high expectations, how does the sequel hold up? Does it manage to surpass its predecessor, or does the first season still reign supreme? There's a lot to unpack here, from the familiar faces returning to new characters, plus the way the story builds and keeps you on the edge of your seat. Today I'm breaking it all down, but don't worry, this is a spoiler-free review. For now, I'll give you a heads up when spoilers are coming so you can pause, catch up on the show, and come back to share your thoughts with me in the comments. Alright, let's dive in and talk about Season 2. Now, let's address the most pressing question. Does Season 2 top Season 1, or does Season 1 still reign supreme? One of the things I really appreciated about Season 2 is how it picks up directly where Season 1 left off. It doesn't just jump into a completely new setting or random storylines. No, the plot flows right from the finale of Season 1, which was honestly a relief. You know, when you've waited for so long for a continuation, it's important that it feels like the next logical chapter. Season 2 feels like that. The way it keeps building on the story, without rushing into the next big game right away, was one of the strongest points for me. Instead of just throwing us back into the games, we see what's happening in between, what the characters are going through, and how the aftermath of Season 1 affects them. It's like you're catching up with old friends, and that makes the story feel more grounded and real. But beyond just the games and survival, Squid Game continues to explore heavy themes of class inequality, morality, and the brutal nature of human survival when pushed to the limit. The new characters bring fresh perspectives on these issues, and we see how the power dynamics within the games have shifted, raising more questions about who gets to survive and why. It's fascinating to see how these societal themes play out within the high-stakes environment of the games. Season 2 continues this exploration, but it adds layers of complexity, especially with its newer characters who force us to reconsider what survival means. And then there's Gong. We all know he's an incredible actor, but I'll be honest. I was completely blown away by his performance in this season. His character doesn't have a lot of screen time, just like in Season 1, but his presence is so commanding. In Season 1, he was the recruiter, and that role was brief yet impactful. In Season 2, he gets more to work with. And trust me, you're going to feel the weight of his character in every scene. There's this moment where I was literally thinking, "What are you doing, Gong Yoo-see?" And it wasn't just me, it was everyone around me watching too. He adds so much depth to his character, and it made me realize that there's still so much more of him to explore. I mean, I need to see more of this side of his acting. The way he portrays his character this season is totally unexpected and adds a completely new layer to the show. The cast is massive this season, and it's great to see old faces alongside new ones. However, while the new characters are interesting, some of them don't get enough screen time. As someone who watches a lot of K-dramas, I was a bit disappointed by how little some talented actors were used. Characters like Im Si-won, who had so much potential, barely got any screen time, which was a letdown. I get it, there's a lot going on in the story, but it felt like these characters could have added more depth if they had been given a bit more room to shine. If you're not familiar with these actors, it probably won't bother you as much. But for someone who loves K-drama, it felt like missed potential. That said, the story itself is still really engaging, and there are a few twists that'll keep you on your toes. It's one of those shows where you think you've figured everything out, and then bam, another twist hits you. The pacing, however, could have been a little smoother. At times, it feels a bit rushed, especially when you're invested in the characters and want to see more of their journey. 7 episodes didn't feel like enough to flesh everything out properly, and I honestly think a couple more episodes could have made the story flow better and given more room for character development. Let's now talk about some of the standout performances. Park Sung-hoon as Hyunju, player 120, truly stole the show. His portrayal of a transgender character was, in my opinion, one of the most powerful arcs of the season. There was some backlash initially about casting a male actor for this role, but Park Sung-hoon really did justice to the character. His transformation from a quiet, reserved person to a strong, confident individual was beautifully done. It was one of the most moving character arcs, and personally, Hyunju was my favorite character of the season. It's amazing to see such a nuanced performance in a show like this, and Park Sung-hoon's portrayal really stood out. Another character that really stood out was Thanos, played by one of the Big Bang members. His character is manipulative, cruel, and at times downright annoying, but he's also so entertaining. The way he delivers random English phrases, along with his quirky personality and random rap parts, haha, added some much-needed levity to the show, especially during the intense moments. His character brought a refreshing dose of humor amidst all the dark and suspenseful moments. From here on, we'll be diving into spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen the show yet, now's the time to pause and catch up. You can always come back and share your thoughts afterward. Now let's talk about what happens next in the story. The winner from the previous season, Gi-hun, player 456, refuses to leave things behind. Instead of disappearing with his prize money, he uses it to get closer to the truth about the organization behind the games. As he digs deeper, he uncovers more clues and gets help from someone from his past. What happens next is mind-blowing, especially when it comes to the new antagonist, Lee Byung-hun, as the frontman. This character is genuinely terrifying, but not in a regular way. I was sitting there thinking, what the heck is going on? The psychopathic nature of this new villain left me absolutely shocked, and I found myself questioning everything I thought I knew. Both of them were outstanding in their roles. Their range as actors is on full display here, and I was just in awe of their performances. And let's talk about the cliffhangers. To be very honest, I just can't stand them. Why do we have to split seasons into multiple parts? We're left hanging at a crucial point, and now we have to wait forever for the next part. The cliffhanger in Season 2 is really crazy. How should we wait until next season? Honestly, I would have preferred if they combined Seasons 2 and 3 into one big, meaty season with 14 to 16 episodes. It would have allowed the story to unfold more naturally and given us a better pacing experience. The waiting game really disrupts the flow of the show, and it's frustrating for viewers. But despite these flaws, Squid Game still manages to capture what made Season 1 so compelling, the brutal, raw nature of human survival when pushed to the limit. Season 2 may not fully surpass the original, but it definitely keeps the essence alive and moves the story forward in unexpected ways. Would I recommend Squid Game Season 2? Absolutely. Even though it doesn't quite surpass the magic of Season 1, it still offers a gripping continuation with some unforgettable performances and moments that will keep you hooked. It's definitely binge-worthy, and you'll find yourself thinking about it long after you finish the last episode. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Season 2 outshines Season 1? Or is the first season still the one to beat? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you think. And hey, if you're into K-dramas, don't miss my upcoming videos.